Please rise and join the class of 2018 in reciting the flag salute, followed by the singing of the national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In keeping with the dignity of this commencement exercise, we, the 8th grade class of 2018, request that all cell phones be turned off. The use of air horns and any other disturbing noisemakers is strictly prohibited. Should any of these devices be employed during this exercise, those parties will be removed from our ceremony immediately.
Ms. Capitelli, members of the Board of Education, distinguished guests, faculty, families, and friends, good evening. Thank you for coming tonight to share this very happy occasion with us. It has been more than half a decade since our class began the journey through Washington Park School. My classmates and I remember the anticipation and the anxiety many of us felt just before we entered 3rd grade, because it was such a huge step from what we had known before. After all, we were going to be in the same school as 8th graders, who were so much more adult than we were. Some of us felt scared and intimidated. Some were excited and eager to start something new. A few thought it was cool, and at least one of us felt like a big boy because he thought he was going to high school. Nevertheless, in the end, we adjusted to the transition easily, as most young kids do. In that long stretch of time, so much has changed. Some students have moved away, while others have joined us. Beloved staff members have left, and others have taken their places. However, the school at the center of it all has stayed constant. This has made it a comfortable presence, a familiar home that is always there. We know its layout, we know many of the people within it, and most importantly, we know where we fit into all of it. That, though, is about to change. Moving on to high school is quite a different transition. There's a much wider gap, not only in academics, but in social interaction as well. It is a change we will feel from our very first day as freshmen to our very last day as seniors. And although we may be experiencing feelings similar to the ones we felt as new 3rd graders, we need not worry, because it's not as if we aren't ready for this leap. Quite the opposite. We've had 6 years to prepare for it. Our teachers have done their best to ensure that we have a firm foundation of skills, and we have worked our very best to learn them. Even though we are facing a new and daunting experience, we have all the resources and growth necessary to thrive in our new setting. It is up to us, however, to use those assets to move forward and to flourish. Despite the departure from the familiarity of Washington Park, I am confident that we will adapt and carry on to become smarter, more mature, and overall, even better versions of ourselves. We have limitless potential. I am certain that each and every one of us will use that potential to the fullest. Our future is yet unwritten, but the next chapter of our life story begins tonight, and we are looking forward to it. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Washington Park class of 2018, it is my honor to welcome you to our graduation ceremony.
Welcome to the Washington Park School commencement exercises honoring the class of 2018. I am proud to introduce the following, and I just ask that you please hold your applause to the end. Mayor John Coro, State Senator Kristen Corrado, Councilwoman Deborah Andriani, Councilwoman Lisa Palazzo, Police Chief Robert Coyle, Superintendent of Passaic Valley High School, Dr. Joanne Cardillo, Director of the Totowa Public Library, Ann Krautheim, Board of Education members, President Michelle Rocco, Vice President Marcello Guarneri, Julie Alessandrelli, Heather Antonucci, Gary Burak, Rosemarie Carr, Jennifer DeSigli, Kenneth Kerwin, Sanders Reynoso, Principal of Memorial School, Joseph Campbell, Director of Special Education, Lauren Terranova, Vice Principal, Jonathan Cruzel, Supervisor of Education, David Bauer, Business Administrator, Vincent Varcatapane, Assistant Business Administrator, Dominic Piccarelli, Supervisor of Building and Grounds, Peter Campolango. Our 8th grade teachers, Ms. Flynn, Ms. Hackbarth, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Leskowitz, Ms. Mostello, Ms. Perenio, and Ms. Peterson. Will all professional staff please stand and be recognized? As toddlers, your parents reminded you to play nice or be nice. Later, you were taught to say please and thank you and you're welcome. And as young children, when you began your journey in school, you welcomed your teachers by all sorts of kindness, some more pronounced than others. However, being nice or showing kindness begins to take on an essence of its own when you arrive at an age where parental reminders sometimes go ignored or are forgotten. In the perseverance for good grades, extracurricular involvement, and the typical angst that is adolescence, kindness sometimes and unintentionally takes a back seat. You, as 8th graders ready to embark on a new adventure, have quite a bit to keep track of. Schedules, studies, chores, social and extracurricular responsibilities, while trying to stay focused on who you really are and what your place is in this world and will be in the future. While you may be known as bright, athletic, competitive, driven, there is that old nostalgic word that cannot be ignored or lost in your desire to succeed: kindness. Your effect on others is powerful and possibly instrumental in a manner which to you may seem insignificant, but may be quite life-changing to another. A kind word, a kind gesture, and even a kind attitude will do more than you will ever know. The rules of society dictate that we all must find a way to get along, but how wonderful would it be if we could find it within ourselves to live that way without being reminded to do so. Eventually, all the certificates, awards, trophies, and diplomas you have earned will become a distant memory, an object sitting on a shelf or a mantle. But your kindness, your commitment to give of yourself without expectations is what people will remember about you in high school, in college, in your career, and in your life. Your successes will come when you learn to give of yourselves and the world needs you. Kindness is, after all, emotional intelligence. As Amelia Earhart once stated, A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. Class of 2018, be that person. Graduates, congratulations on all your successes here at Washington Park School, and congratulations for all of your future achievements as kind people who will make this world a better place at every opportunity. Thank you. Next, we are proud to present the Americanism Award. I would like to call up Commander Michael Vigorita and First Vice Commander Al Tasso from the American Legion, Post 227, for the presentation of the American Awards. This award is issued to 2 students who have been selected by their peers. The criteria for selection are based on personal traits of honor, patriotism, service, and scholarship. The recipients of this award have been kept secret until this evening. Second place goes to Thomas Gata. And first place goes to Joseph Baris. Next, we have the presentation of the Mayor and Council Awards, and I am pleased to introduce Mayor John Coro.
Thank you, Ms. Capitelli. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, graduates. It's always a pleasure to be here on such a memorable occasion. I know as parents, we all remember this night, and the graduates will as well. So we're all pleased to be here with you. Each year, the Council and I sponsor an essay award. This year's theme of that award is Unwritten. The essays are written by the students, they're submitted anonymously, and they're judged by teachers other than the 8th grade teachers. And so this year, the second place award goes to Demetrius Kouloumanis. They're somewhere, I'm sure. And our first place award winner, who will read her essay for us, is Maya Vadua.
We like to think of our lives as books. Each day presents a new, empty page that is ready to be filled with adventure and wonder. There are praiseworthy and authentic pages, and there are unfavorable and remorseful pages, but these diverse pages unify to become what is the story of our lives. All the experiences, the laughter, the adversities will fill those pages. One day, we will look back on our stories and smile at all the memories that are found within them. We would like to say that we are proud of our stories, but the truth is, they have only just begun. Up until a couple months ago, we had not seriously thought about graduation. Graduation. The word felt so strange to think about, to say. It was always something hovering in the distance, almost too frightened to make an appearance. Recently, however, we discovered that it was not graduation that was too timid to arrive. We were the ones who were not ready to leave. We were the ones who were not ready to move on, to admit that we would soon have to face an unfamiliar future. It was all beginning to feel overwhelming, but we let it go and chose not to worry about it just yet. Elementary and middle school were all we knew. As classmates and peers, we all grew up together in Totowa, and we've never known anything different. Among us is the math genius who can solve the most difficult calculations in seconds. Then there's the singer who has the voice of an angel. The artist can make even the simplest of lines to make a masterpiece. The bubbly one seems to be friends with everyone and leaves anyone he or she encounters with a smile. They're all sprinkled throughout our stories. We know each other so well that now, when it is time to begin a new chapter, it is extremely troublesome to take a step away from each other. When it came time to start focusing on graduation, high school, and the future, I personally let my nerves take over. Soon I would be leaving, not only this school, but the people within it. I may never see some of these faces again, and in my mind, that was undeniably terrifying. These were the people I turned to for help, advice, or just a shoulder to lean on when I needed it most. Now I have to find new people to trust, care for, and interact with. It stressed me out for a while, and I believe my classmates were feeling the same way. But I soon came to a realization. We have our whole lives ahead of us to enjoy, and that whole idea has brought us comfort, as well as a sense of excitement. These middle school years, they are only a snippet of our lives, and we have so much more to go, so much more to do, to fill up the empty pages. We will always savor these middle school pages, but we need to accept our upcoming life, our time in high school, and perhaps college. Yes, there will be, without a doubt, innumerable mistakes trying to mess with us. But in all honesty, we must embrace them because they will be the ones to educate us the most. We've been conditioned not to make mistakes, but it's hard to live that way. No one is perfect, and there's no point wasting our lives, our stories, trying to be flawless when making mistakes is inevitable. In a positive light, they will certainly make life interesting, and because of them, we will become better people, more successful, and more prosperous. After all, we just need to be the best possible people we can be, and that is something we will need to keep in mind as we fill future pages of our books. With an open mind, we will take on the new adventures and absorb the new wisdom that will be presented to us. We will take all the chances and opportunities that come before us, because in the end, there really isn't much to lose. There are boundless, perpetual possibilities that we must take advantage of. Life should be lived with arms wide open. If we mess up, then we will get back up on our feet and continue on our path. We won't be afraid anymore. We will be brave and fearless, welcoming graduation as something to look forward to. Cherishing these last few moments together is something we want to do, but great things await us on the horizon. We are learning to welcome change, whether or not we like it, for ultimately, our pages can't all be the same. As we go on to bigger, greater things, we will not forget the beginning of our stories. The math genius, he might come up with a new theory that will be taught to future generations. The singer, we might hear him or her on the radio someday. The athlete might play for a professional sports team. Each and every one of us will find our own path to excellence. However, it may not be what we would expect, because the rest of our lives is still up in the air. Nothing is set in stone. We might not end up pursuing the career we thought we wanted, or we may not initially succeed in our profession, but with time and determination, we will fill our pages with so many amazing experiences. There is so much potential for the Washington Park School class of 2018. We cannot live in the past or the future. The past is over. Everything is already recorded in our books. The future has yet to come, so why be anxious about it? As of now, there are only blank pages ahead. Our lives begin anew, and we have to be there to live them, to fill up those new pages. We're just beginning. Pens in our hands, endings unplanned. Today is where our books begin. Who really knows what will happen next? As Natasha Bedingfield said, the rest is still unwritten.
Demetrius, can you come back up, please? We found the plaques. Congratulations.
The 8th grade graduating class and our award winners are proud to present the mayor and council with a plaque with the names of the 1st and 2nd place recipients.
Thank you, class. Thanks, Ms. Capitelli. We will hang this in our council chambers, so it'll be there for all to see. In closing, on behalf of our entire Totowa community, I'd like to congratulate all our graduates, wish you much success in the future, wherever that takes you, and always keep a little bit of Totowa with you. Congratulations.